Check my YouTube analytics and I saw that I have quite some views from Indonesia. So I said, let's make a video about them and let's see how they stay when it's about population. And currently we can see on they ranking 4 in world population right now. So let's see how well they're doing. As you can see, those lines still going up, but the growing rate in percentage obviously going down, which is a good sign, especially for them and also for the rest of the humanity. Now, we're going to compare the past and also the future, look at the country real quick, and then look in the history. Let's see how well they've done, even in the past. Now, going in 1955, they only were 77 million people, but now they are 285 million people, so a huge increase. Even back then, they have a new net population grow at about 1.7 million per year, and now they have 2.2 million per year, so it's still a huge increase. But look at this, the migration was pretty much on minus, except the 50s, I would say, and until the 90s, but they got down. Median age back then was around 19 years old, and now it's around 31 years old. But look at the fertility rate, what happened. 1955, 5.3, huge numbers. But now, in 2025, they expect around 2.1. Still above replacement, but we're going to see how well they're going to do in the future in a second. Now, the urban population, as you didn't know, Indonesia, they have one of those nice beaches in the world, so it's kind of hard to live in a city, I would say. But back then, 13.5% living in a city, and the rest of them in a countryside, so very well for them. But now, they kind of change. Now, they are around 60% in an urban area, and the rest of them, the 40%, are living on those nice beaches. Hopefully, all of them, but probably they have some weird small towns too. Villages, let's call it, not small town, because that was small town. It was in an urban area. But let's say global ranking was 6 in 1955, now it's 4, so they actually growing. But now let's look in the future, let's see how well they're gonna do. So in 2050, they're gonna still growing up. They're gonna hit 320 million people, but the growing rate is gonna be around under a million. It's gonna be around 700,000 people per year, that net, and the migration is still gonna be on a minus. The median age, look at this. So 1955, 19 years old, 2050, 36, 37 years old. So almost 20 years in increase. So it's a huge one in just 100 years, let's say. But look at the fertility rate. Now they are below replacement. Now they are 1.85. And I always say, and I have to say again, on this side, it's just going to show you a direction where the numbers go. And I still think all of the numbers, especially the UN, because probably they're going to take them from the decentralized numbers. And also they have the sensors, whatever they call it, when they count the population. But of course, in those islands, it's hard to keep track on every single one of them. And I saw in my country how they do it. So it's not exactly reliable. It just tells you a story, let's say, the best. But those numbers, I believe, are still fake. I believe the population is still going down much faster than actually they predict, and also they tell us. But if you live in Indonesia, like I say, I have some views there. You can comment on this and say how you think things are going there. But from the future, it looks like they're gonna go under replacement. So even those numbers probably gonna see some by 2040. I would say you're gonna see actually going down. So they have roughly around 15 years left of small growing, and then they're gonna go down, because this is how the world works right now. And then it go back in a global rank of 6. So they start on 6, they're gonna finish on 6 in 100 years period from 1955 to 2050. So it's gonna be a regular one, let's say. But now look at the urban population. Now they go to 73%. So almost let's say 5 times. I make just a cold calculation here from 100 years ago. So clearly there is a trend in all this entire world that governments tries to move the people from the countryside to the cities, probably because it's easier for them to just I want to say control them, but yeah, I think it's control the population a bit better, especially with the system that we have now. In the future, I believe it's going to be exactly the opposite, when they're going to start moving outside the cities and go from those small towns. That will be much easier to control, I would say, because you can pretty much lock down a small town. Let's say how many people they can live there, 150, 200, easily to just lock them down. So Probably that will be the next let's say major move from the next century. But now with Indonesia, like I say, the population gonna start going down. Life expectancy in Indonesia, it's also pretty good, I would say. For both sexes, it's 72 years old, females 73, 74, and males 69, 70. So not that much difference, and they're still growing. So there is actually a good number here. Not too old, but also not too young either. Infant mortality it's 16.6, and death under age of 5 almost 20. So huge numbers, but again, I don't trust that much about the medical system in Indonesia, but those numbers are reflecting that. And also they have Jakarta with the huge cities, like with this 8.5 million people. So that number that we saw here with 60% of population in an urban area, you can translate it here in those huge cities. But now let's look at the country, let's say randomly. Let's see what we can see. Let's go in a city for a second. Let's see how actually they live in Indonesia. I don't know which city it is, and I don't care, just go randomly to see how actually they're doing. A lot of scooters are looking and see that, and a small car for so far. But in this part of the town, I would say it's not bad at all. Look at this, they are clean streets, not too many, actually I don't see that many potholes. It looks for me exactly like an Asian town, let's say. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Let's check another part, because I don't want to stay too much on these things, because you can actually see how well they're doing just by going randomly on the map. Let's go on the beach if you can find something. Let's go in this part here, like I say, very random. Just see how well they're doing. Yeah, pretty nice, I would say. The water is not that clean, but that's not a major concern here. They have some palm trees here, whatever that it is. It is nice for vacation, I would say, but let's go even further. Let's go on this island, looking for the nice, oh, look at this, have some housing line, let's call it. Yeah, I really like those when they have the same level, the road with the ground. It looks nice. It looks very touristy here, I would say, because this is how you see it pretty much in every postcard. The housing, not that well, I have to say, but again, not too bad either. They are clean, nice. I don't like that driveway, but that's just me. No fences, so I would say nobody steal anything from here. Who knows? I don't know this, what tree is this one, but this palm tree looks nice. Okay, a pothole there, I don't like that, so the road not that well maintained in this part, but still look pretty decent. Let's check another one, and that's it. Okay, not so bad, I would say. Actually, it's pretty decent. Let's go in this one. Let's go in this. This is like a dinosaur to me. I don't know why it looks like a reptile, but ooh, let's go this one. Okay, so not that many actually here, so probably it's not gonna be a good one, but it's an old one. How? 2024? No, it's actually a new one. New images. Yeah, it's pretty much a typical city, but again, for that many population and that, let's say, spread all over those islands, it doesn't look that bad. Yeah, so okay, I give them a pass. It's an Asian city, a lot of people there, so not that much money, let's say, but they're doing decent, I would say. But let's go back in history now. Obviously, Indonesia is not gonna be one of those huge old civilization, but they're gonna see here, probably they're gonna have after year 0. Let's see when they find the first one. And also I have to look here, so they're just these islands, so not to confuse them. But yeah, not on a huge old. Look at this, just have the first one is Turum. I have no idea. I don't look in those history, just look how they done it in the past. Let's see how they evolve and how is by the today's standard. Let's see. So yeah, I would say pretty new countries. Also a Dutch Empire, as we can saw. They got independence in 1945. So it's so some Japanese here also. So probably they didn't like that much. And for pretty much the recent history was Dutch East Indies. So probably that's why they're doing at least decent, if not well. So yeah, If you're living in Indonesia, probably it's a nice place to just live your life. If you don't have, let's say, don't wanna in a countryside we're talking about, because in a city obviously it's gonna be that. Even in a city, even if you are rich or just pretty much live like in a third world country, I would say. But for those in the countryside, probably it's a much better life there. And if you live in the countryside, probably try to make a YouTube channel or something to make money online, because probably gonna have a much better time there than actually moving in a city. But with 285 million people, which is an insane number. Again, the good news is they're going down. They're gonna go down fast once they started. It could be actually, like I said, a good way to live there if you just stay away from the cities and make somehow develop something that can actually make money. That would be a nice place to stay. But otherwise, yeah, I don't think it's nothing especially about them, but also not too bad in the same time.